character, that's for sure.
Way out of character.
It is 4:15. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please join us with a salute for our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, meeting's called to order. We've pledged to our flag. Roll call, Rick Morgan.
Here.
Bob Freeman.
Yep.
Frank Riley is here. I have minutes. January 30th, Selectmen's meeting. Make a motion, we approve them.
Second?
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have the accounts payable. Payroll for the weekend in 2/4/2017 is $150,605.97. That includes our benefits for people's retirement and union dues, etc. And we have accounts payable weekend in 1/28, which is our bill process, $63,068.93, for a grand total of $213,674.90. Make a motion, we approve them.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
And again, for our folks who are watching it on television, we do review all of our bills and all of our accounts payable individually. And then they're assembled onto this voucher, of which then we make final approval of all payments. And I try hard not to miss a place in here that I'm supposed to be signing, and Bob does a good job on catching me.
Something right.
Do a lot right, Bob. Greatly appreciate everything you do, both of you. Thank you. I have a letter here from Public Works Director Brad Harriman, reference to this floor, gymnasium. Brad, I must admit, I read the quote wrong, and Rick straightened me out on it, but this is, you met with Heckman Flooring, and you have two proposals here.
Yeah, that first one is their original proposal, and when we got our quotes last year, we had 3 companies quote it for doing this floor, replacing what we have here now for VCT tiles. Heckman at the time was the cheapest of the 3. I think we had those discussions back, summer, fall, something like that. Craig and I were down there, was it last week, I think it was, Craig, we were talking to them, and they had come up with this other option here of the indoor sports tile, which I actually have a piece of right here. I can show you what it is. It's a interlocking system that a lot of the, they're saying a lot of colleges and a lot of community center type places that have courts that kids use, stuff like that, are all going to this new system now.
Do you have to put an underlayment on as far as like plywood?
Nope, that rubber mat is all that gets laid down underneath it there, and then sits on top. It's a floating system. So two things will happen. One, it'll eliminate it being, this stuff being glued to the floor now, and when this floor flexes, we get all this cracking that we're getting and pieces coming out. That would eliminate from having this being a floating system. And also, they said it was a 15-year warranty on all the tiles there. And if one does happen to break, you can pop it out and replace it with another one fairly easily. So, and it's virtually not much different than what their original quote was for this VCT tile. By the time they had their tile put down with the striping on the court, they were at just under $19,000.
So they paint on this?
And then you paint your lines on that afterwards, yes.
How's the durability of the painted lines?
We didn't get into that much because they don't do that part. You have to hire a painter to do it, but I would assume that would be, a line I would think would last years anyway, without being touched up again.
I guess my only drawback, if you will, is aesthetically,
just a June,
So there's other colors, I mean,
There are.
there's a choice of colors.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's not gonna look just like
No, it's
that.
just a sample I had to.
Okay.
No,
All right,
They put this under,
they put that underneath it, yeah.
The same as your hardwood floating floors now, I would assume that they
Yeah.
put down. But what we want to do with this is, what got me is they added the two quotes together for a total bottom
I
line.
think their computer system just does that.
I know, but it put me in a tailspin.
Oh, I'm glad we straightened out for you.
All of a sudden, I'm going, whoa, wait a minute.
so they don't wax this or nothing, and just wash it?
No, that's kind of what we got, they just mop it every now and then and keep it clean, and that's it. You don't have, there's no maintenance to it
So
at all.
what I guess we're gonna do is I will follow through with this on Ellen tomorrow, not necessarily on approving what you're gonna put
Right.
down, okay? But we have money left over in our account from last year, is move money forward for this year.
Yep.
And I wanna get money enough moved forward to do whatever we do.
Right.
And then,
but I think we pretty much decided too, that, and I agree with that part of it, but even if we didn't move a cent forward with the warrant article that we've got and the budget that we've got coming, we plan on doing this floor anyway.
Right.
What I'm gonna suggest is, one, I'd like to see some additional samples to give us an idea of what it is that we're looking at. Because well,
Yeah.
that might be durable, that's pretty mundane looking.
Yeah.
And the second thing is to maybe reach out to some of the places that have this flooring and talk with them and see what they, how's it been?
Right.
And do some legwork on that as far as
Go see
recommendations
it.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe go
no,
see someplace?
big thing that I realized that like colleges and universities are doing this, and
Yep.
it's a 15-year warranty.
Yep.
So, at a university, it's a lot of hard miles put on that.
Yep.
And we're talking to the gentleman, it's like, it's only like 10 hours of hard use on the floor here, and it says it'll last long past.
Maybe we can go
So
somewhere
maybe
and see
reach
it.
out to some of those university guys that are in charge of it and say, how's it been?
Yeah.
What did
I
you
like-
like, what didn't you like?
I would like to go see where it's down and see it.
You can go ahead.
I'm just saying,
I'll find out
You're
where it
just
is.
hoping it's in Tahiti.
Couple of locations where it may be down, not too far from here, because we don't want him on a boondock forever, but,
Yeah, we can ask.
We can find out.
I think there's
Maybe
a
go
place
take
in
a look at
Jamaica
it.
we can go.
I think it's an intriguing system.
Make it up.
I mean, the idea of not having to wax it alone would save us $750 every time we have this floor waxed.
Place in
Times a year,
Jamaica. we
yeah.
ought to
So-
look
Yeah,
at it.
they brought up like how it should look, like you can easily put like the Ossipee Town seal right in the center court here. So
We can add
I'd like to know how the paint holds up too, when they paint it, Do you have to paint it every 4 years, or paint it every 10 years?
I think they did say that the guy let us know that it's a special type paint that you would put on it, wouldn't be
Correct.
just like a regular latex type paint that's gonna, wear off. I think there's a high durable.
Well, and there again, I mean, if there are other places that have used it, that's one of the things that we can get from them is how has it worked? What did it cost to have the lines painted and how much, do they have to be redone every year? I mean, I don't know.
Brad, if you can-
That more for you, so.
If you can find a place that is using it, see if we can go see it.
Probably
See what
down
it looks
south.
like. Yeah, I
Down near the equator somewhere.
probably
Well, the climate
Jamaica,
we look for.
Jamaica, they use them in Jamaica.
South
A lot
for-
of basketball.
South for him is south of Nashua, so that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. South could be just,
So anyway,
Out of Boston.
we'll have money enough to do something, and it'll have to be decided at a later date, just exactly what you do, go do.
Want to bring it to your attention, there's
Yep.
this option out here, so.
Have the highway department work log from 129 through 24. Anybody who would like a copy of it is certainly welcome to it. Have a petition here for a poll license. This is from Public Service Company, better known as Eversource today. They're locating a new pole, Walker Hill Road and Polly Crossing Road, just off Walker Hill Road. Make a motion, we approve them.
second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brad, we have here a new red line list from the state. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't got a copy of that,
I got on here for Laura to give you a copy of it and then give the original to Ellen. It has our 3 bridges still on it, which is Valley Road, we're working.
no? Yep.
What's the status of that one right now?
We've got it scheduled to be done in May.
Okay, so we're not doing it this spring then.
Because we got we had a bid opening for the earthwork part of it. We have the 3 prices on that. I wanted to get those to make sure we had the money. That was the only part that I didn't have figured for, but I didn't know what the cost was gonna come in at. I was pleased that one of them came in. I'll probably have those for your next meeting. they're right around what I had assumed, right around the $30,000 mark. I think the lowest one was 32,000.
It was Evans.
That was Evans, yeah. Then they ranged up to what?
They'll do a good job for you
119,
too.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the budget looks good for it, everything there. So the bridge is being made. They're gonna just store it this winter for us down on site, you know, at Mitsubishi there, and,
Mitsubishi.
yeah. And then we just plan on doing it in May, you know, we can shut that road down and, you know,
Well, it has that 3 bridges. It has Polly Crossing, which is done,
which is done, yep.
and it also has the one down at Patty Acres.
Patty Acre, which is done now.
Those are done now.
It's done.
So those are the only 3 on here for
Yep.
us.
Yep,
So 2 of them are completed.
Yep.
The third one, you've got all the stuff in place to
yep.
finish it in
And
May.
it will be completed this spring, yep.
The only other 2 bridges on here within town that I saw was the Level River and the Bear Camp, which the
Not
state
being done.
already has
Right.
plans to go do.
Right, yep.
Other than that, it's other towns. I'll just give you a little heads up.
Okay.
The town itself, Ossipee, is in relatively good shape.
They usually send me a copy of that too, so I don't think you have to have them copy it.
All right.
I think,
You don't need this?
I don't need it now.
Laurel, just put it in Ellen's box. Okay?
If somebody
Thank you.
don't get it out.
It'll be in Ellen's mailbox and if you want a copy of it, Brett. The other thing I want to do is, Mr. Freeman and Mr. Morgan met with the union on union agreement. The agreement they finally settled on was a 1.5% pay raise for 1 year and renewing this contract for 1 year with no other changes. As a result of that, I make a motion, we approve what they agreed with within the contract and sign it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
The other thing we have here, this has to go in as a warrant article. The warrant article is to see if the town will vote to appropriate the cost item included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the town and AFSCME Local 534, which calls for the following increases in salary and benefits at the current staffing level. Fiscal year 2017 will be $13,432. And further to raise and appropriate the sum of $13,432 for the current fiscal year, such sum representing the additional costs attributed to the increase in salary and benefits required by the new agreement over those that would be paid at current staffing levels in accordance with the most recent collective bargaining agreement, recommended by the selectmen, or recommended by the budget committee. That'll come out accordingly, but I make a motion, the selectmen recommend it and approve this warrant article.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll make sure Ellen.
Bob, you're gonna take that?
Yes.
The state wants to hold another meeting. This is again on the corridor, Route 16. Says the commission, in accordance with RSA 230-14, Surface Transportation Uniform Relocation Assistance Act, set a public hearing, proposed improvements of New Hampshire Route 1625, Town of Ossipee. Meeting will be held at the Ossipee Town Hall, Main Street, Ossipee, on February 22nd, 2017 at 6 p.m. Craig, you want to make sure that's on our calendar in there?
It already is.
It already is. You're already ahead of me. Thank you very much. Anybody that wants to come in, the state's done a pretty good job on getting in, on keeping us updated on what's going on out there on Route 16. We greatly appreciate it, and Laurel, if you could make sure that's on our agenda for next week so we track it, I'd appreciate that too. Thank you. Anybody would like a copy of this notice or what they're doing, more than welcome to it.
Do we need to post that?
I think it already is. Is it posted yet out here?
I think it is. I'll double check.
Want to double check it?
Oh, I got a copy of it too.
This is notice of public hearing, so we need to be posted. If it isn't, it may already be. Let me get this. I've got some abatements. Seems like they never go away. I'll take them one by one as we go through them. This one is on map 061, lot 32. This one again is by our assessor. He says the taxpayer filed an appeal for tax year 2015. The reason for the abatement request was the taxpayer believes the property was overvalued. The reason is The acreage is listed incorrectly. There's a right-of-way that splits the property, and there is a limited building envelope due to the wet area. Recommends granting it. I have met with the taxpayer as audited by the New Hampshire Board of Taxation, Land Appeal, and tried to find a suitable resolution to this case. This property was enrolled completely in current use in 2016, so this decision only affects the 2015. Change the assessment, which recommends a refund of $173.10. The assessment went down. The assessment went from $121,873 revised to $113,863, a difference of $8,010 for a refund of $173.10. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Discussion.
No.
All in favor? Aye. Seems like I was long-winded on that one. You said it. Did you get that? This next one is on map 90, lot 20. Original assessment was $165,300. Newest revised assessment is $135,500, a difference of $29,800. Recommending a refund of $622.82. He's recommended that we grant it. So the taxpayer has requested abatement for 2016 because she believes the value is excessive. Has submitted an appraisal that was completed for mortgage financing with a value conclusion of $93,000. And it says he recommends granting it. Completed. I have conducted a complete inspection of the property. I have adjusted the conditions of the outbuildings. I noted some unfinished areas and minor sketch changes. Additionally, I have reviewed the information provided. I did not give much weight to the appraisal because it was done for mortgage financing and isn't supposed to be used for other purposes without prior approval. But he did recommend a change and recommend reducing it. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I have another one here on tax map 130, lot 12, subdivision 045. Original assessment was $11,500. Revised assessment is $0. Well, let's see what he says. Taxpayer has requested abatement for 2016 on her RV located Beaver Hollow Campground. The reason they are requesting the abatement, they moved it to this site in May of 2016. The owner of the campground, pursuant to RSA 72(7)(d)(IB, is required to provide the municipal with a list of the occupants who are exempt under this statute. Initially, the owner indicated this unit was here on April 1st, 2016. She has since indicated via email and phone conversation that it was a mistake. It wasn't there until May of 2016 because this property is placed on the site after April 1st, should not have been taxed. Make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
Discussion?
How do we know that it was? Does it,
Take their word for it, I guess.
I guess I would have liked to have seen him have contacted the campground and
Verify.
try to verify whether or not it was there in April or not there in April. I mean, maybe I'm being cynical, but if I knew I didn't have to pay taxes on it if it wasn't there in April, then you can bet your bippy it didn't get there till May.
Let me hold off on it and have them check it.
Want him to re-verify?
You know, if there is a way of verifying, I'd like to see a little bit more information on
Okay,
that one.
I'll withdraw my motion. I'll move on to the next one. This one is lot 104, map 104, lot 14, subdivision 2. And this one, original assessment was $18,800, revised assessment is $9,800, a difference of $9,000 with a refund of $188.10. Now we'll find out why. The taxpayer has requested abatement for the 2016 because he believes his value is excessive. The year built was listed as 1988, but should have been 1985. In 2016, the assessing office added several yard items that were not previously assessed, such as docks, decks, and sheds. The net result was the increase of $7,000. He says, I have reviewed the information provided, and I have adjusted the condition of the outbuildings and yard items. Additionally, I have adjusted the depreciation of the preliminary building to match the depreciation of a similar age recreational vehicle. This unit is a park model which is 12 feet wide and was assessed similarly to a single wide mobile home. Once these adjustments were made, the value difference should be abated. So in other words, he assessed it as a mobile home and it's actually an RV. Make a
Well, the
motion.
reverse. I think it actually was assessed as an RV, it should have been as a mobile home.
No, the unit is a park model.
Yeah, the park model is like the
That's,
mini,
that's supposed to be an RV.
but the park model is like a mini mobile home. Either way, I think what he's
Still
saying.
falls under the RV definition.
Okay.
But that's all right. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have here a application for property tax credit exemption. It's a veterans exemption. It's been reviewed by our assessor and okayed. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, aye. I almost wrote 16. I have here recycling center daily cash log. This is for the month of January. You took in $2,026.70. I have a letter here from Northeast Resource and Recovery Association for $444.10. This is for scrap metal. Once it was for $494.10 and a $50 hauling fee, so we made $444, Brett. Good deal. They still separating precious metals?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Taking some of the precious metals out. We have a letter here from the USDA, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development. It's community facilities, direct loans, and grants. So this program provides affordable funding to develop essential community facilities in rural areas. Anybody interested in it, we have a printout, more than welcome to a copy of it. Maybe stick it on the bulletin board. Laura, if you would please, thank you. A letter here from the Carroll County Commissioners to the Selectmen, reference dead trees along County Farm Road. You familiar with it, Brad?
I haven't seen this, I haven't read this letter yet, no.
It says, we understand there are currently several large dead trees that abut the county property off of County Farm Road in Ossipee, which may pose a hazard to vehicles that travel the road. We have no issues with the town of Ossipee taking down the trees. We do request that once the trees are down, that you dispose of the trees by your regular practice, or you may leave them for the county's use. We want to again thank the town of Ossipee Highway Department for a great job that was done on reconstructing County Farm Road this past summer, and the fine job that has been done on the winter maintenance this year. Now, I don't give you a copy of this and
Yeah.
take a look at it, Brad. I don't know what it means. You can tell after you look at it.
I know there is one or two dead trees there that I'm pretty sure I know where they're talking about, but we'll go down and look at them and flag them and move forward with that.
See if they're our responsibility or their responsibility.
Yeah, make
But even if they are-
make sure they're our responsibility.
Yeah, but even if they are, I mean, it was a good offer to let them
It is.
let them take care of the trees.
Yeah.
You just have to drop them, that's easy. Let them clean it up.
Yeah, because there's no power lines on that road at all, I don't
No,
think.
no.
There's nothing down there that you couldn't probably go in and push them over with a backhoe or something if you had to. So take a look at it. It's here in the book.
Okay, yeah.
And well, Laura can make you a copy of that letter so you can have it, and then the other one can go on file. Let's see, we're going to talk to Jesse now. That's the end of the red folder. Jesse's probably going. Laura, you just send that back to Jesse and tell her we need more information. Todd,
Okay.
please, thank you. We also have our water sewer file here tonight to work on. have a warrant here to sign. It's, again, to our tax collector, Kelly Skian, for $114.51. Make a motion, we sign it.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have a list here of bills and signatures. They'd like approving them. Gasoline, sampling test, telephone, Easton Antelletico, Fairpoints, Town of Ossipee, and Wex Bank. Total of $3,078.33. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the one that gets the full listing, and then these are the ones that do the checks, which again, make a motion, we approve all of the same thing, so.
Yeah.
See Bo tonight, but I trust everything is going along okay.
Yep, yeah, he said it was fairly quiet folder for you tonight, so he didn't see a need to be here, and it's been pretty quiet up there the last week or two, so.
Is there anything that we need to do to help him, or can we do anything to help him? Have you been able to help him?
The only thing I would like to probably have a conversation with you about, if you wanted, was on the part-time help section of that, because he is still without his assistant up there, without Jimmy, still out on workman's comp. It will be for at least the rest of this month, and then they're gonna reevaluate his knee after that. He's been out since well before Christmas, so Bo's been there all by himself. We've talked about, there is a part-time position on file there now, as you know, the person goes in during the summertime, 2 days a week down in Camp David there. I'd like to kind of readdress that, possibly have that person be available to help be trained and also help out on checking the stations on weekends, because every morning they have to be read, make sure nothing happened, and everything's on there. They've done 7 days a week all year long. So right now, Bo's been doing this since before Christmas, every weekend and everything. He's been coming in every Saturday and Sunday, plus every day every week to do these readings. So we had this part-time person addressed to be able to help that out. So if there's an issue with someone's on vacation or, time off like Jimmy is for workman's comp, it wouldn't be so hard on one person to have to handle all that himself.
What about the thoughts of cross-training somebody else that you already have though, too?
Well, we're actually, talked to Billy about that, we're training 2 guys right now down in the highway department to learn how to do this too, so that when this does pop up like this also, they can be called in on a weekend to go out and do the meter reading if Bo has a weekend, his weekend off, or Bill wants to go away on vacation, whatever like that, and somebody's out. So we've started that already. We've had 1 training session with 2 guys already. Our thought is to probably just train 2 guys. We thought about training everybody so that the on-call person can do it, but that becomes so labor intensive to teach 9 guys the whole system. So we're gonna pick out 2 or 3 guys to learn it and be able to do this on an as-needed basis if it comes out of that.
That kind of dovetails in with a concern that one that's going to be coming too, and that's the same way on your solid waste licenses. I mean, right now you've got 2 people over there that are licensed.
Yeah.
Both of which, quite frankly, could decide tomorrow that they were going to retire.
Yep.
If let's presume that one of them retires in the next couple of years, that will leave you with 1 license.
Right.
And then at that point, when that person goes on vacation, we're going to be in violation. We need to start to try to get a handle on making sure that there are the appropriate licenses and the appropriate. I think it makes perfect sense to move people around when you need to, and I'm good with that. But because of the license requirements, that's something we really got to try to get on top of, because that could happen tomorrow.
And we've talked about that, and we're gonna have Chris come in, and we're gonna do some training with him, because he goes over there and helps out as needed over there to fill in and stuff. So we'll have to have him get his solid waste license for that facility over there, so that he's licensed in there. And
What about your
I think I'm also gonna get my license for that also, so that I can have the license,
Right,
you
I'd
know,
like
we're
to see
supposed to be
that.
on site, you know,
Right.
we can work around
Exactly,
that type of
exactly,
detail there, so.
In the same way with, are you looking to get your licenses on the water side as well?
Water
Yep.
and sewer also,
Yep.
yep, yep.
I think we need to move toward that, and I don't know how you two feel, but, you know, if you take like a couple of the highway guys that are willing to put in the time and the effort to get those licenses, I don't have a problem in the world paying them for that. I mean, you know, obviously we pay for the courses, but when somebody wants to do that, then they also ought to be, I don't have a problem in the world compensating for them.
Right.
I think to go in to read the stations in the mornings, I don't think, you don't have to be licensed to do that.
Okay.
It doesn't require the license for that part, that's more of a manual thing to help out with the department itself,
Okay.
their part.
When you open the system, that you have to have a license.
Right. But if something happened there, then somebody with a license would have to be called in to do a repair or, you know, deal with an issue that's going on there, which, you know, which we would have to, you know, also deal with at that time.
Do we have a resource for another license? I mean, look, again, playing this out, right now you got Jim out on sick leave.
Yeah,
That leaves Bo.
yeah. That's it.
If Bo gets sick tomorrow,
Yeah.
and, or heaven forbid, hurt or whatever, what,
Recourse that we have.
what's our avenue
Yeah.
to making sure that system continues to run?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to have something in place. We need to set something up in place for that.
The other water departments around, like Wolfboro's got one, obviously, and I don't know if Conway does or not, but if they, their precincts, but, you know, there must be I would hope that there is some sort of a mechanism where there is somebody that you could hire on a consulting basis with licenses or whatever.
To help us out with that. We also have we have another water system down here at the county farm. And I believe, I don't know if Ed would know or not, if that gentleman down there carries his license too or not, he might. But yeah, there is that opportunity to, you know, hire somebody to come in on a part-time basis to cover.
So right now, you're down to one person running it.
How
That's
many
it.
guys are you thinking of getting licenses, Brad, down on the garage?
None. No, I'm not looking at any, we don't need any licenses for them to go out and help read the stations.
Yeah.
That was more of a labor relief for Bo there, not have to be required to be there 7 days a week. My thought was if we got a part-time person in there, to hopefully maybe have him get a license on that, and have it be a little more than what it is right now. You know, to be able to come in and read meters, you would also be in charge of Camp David down there, and also be able to do all the mowing down there, which, the way it's set up now, the person down there doesn't do the mowing, so.
I think you, at this point, Brad, I'd recommend you sit down with Bo and you sit down with Brewster and come up with a game plan. Saying how many licenses we need, who can we get licensed, how do we go about having these licenses, and when we can get it done.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why I'm bringing, I mean, there's a process.
That's all it
It's not
is.
gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, for you to get your water and sewer licenses, it's gonna take some time.
Yep.
Connie,
I think Rick St. Jean is fully licensed.
I think he is too, actually.
say what now? I'm sorry.
Rick St. Jean may be licensed,
He is licensed.
so.
At one point he offered, but that's something Brad can set with Rick and say, are you available if we need you in a case of an emergency? But I believe he's licensed on both water sewer to open, because he had his own system at one point.
The wet is also.
That's, yeah.
You know, you also got that outfit out of Laconia, I can't remember the name of them, they do a lot of private water systems too.
Yeah, one out of Moltenboro too.
The Molten Borough, I mean, I'm not saying go hire them, I don't mean that, but I'm saying you just simply could have them to know what they can provide.
But we ought to get some plans in place
Right.
And I
for the
think
what
that's,
ifs.
I think that's for you to sit down with those people and decide what you're gonna do. Yeah.
I could be wrong. We also have another resident in town that I think has licenses. That'd be Jake Dawson.
I have no
Pretty
idea.
certain,
Jake might be, yeah.
pretty certain he's qualified to run that system.
Anyway, where we're coming from is, you know, I think you ought to get right on it too, and not delay, and come up with what you think we need to do, how we need to, can put it in place, so, you know, and don't hesitate to reach out to someone like Rick St. Jean or somebody else to say, hey, if I get a problem, what's your availability? Can you do this, or what can't you do? What's your license cover? But right now, we're kind of stabbing in the dark, and the dump's the same way. Get those people licensed over there, and if you get Chris licensed, then that helps with one more.
Right.
But I agree with Rick, that licensing can, all of a sudden, you can find yourself tomorrow morning really struggling. And I don't have any problem with the guys if they're willing to come in weekends to help Bo out and do the meter readings
Right.
and Just make sure things are running.
Right.
And if they're not running, then they have to call him to come in and get things up and running. But somebody needs to be checking it. It's not fair to Bo to say you're here 7 days a week.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So we leave that with you. And how about putting that on our agenda, Laura, for right now? Under old business, just update on licensing for the solid waste facility and the water sewer department. So that we can address it each week. I don't know the side of it either.
I think it's a looming problem if we don't
It is.
start to take some steps.
And do what you gotta do right now to help him out any way we can. To try to get through this till his other helper gets back. Anything else on water sewer?
Nope.
Old business, intersection 28-171 is ongoing. Hazardous, dilapidated buildings, that's still ongoing, waiting for courts. 9 Doors Corner Road is again waiting for courts. I can talk to Sager again on this. And we haven't got too far with your recreation committee, Craig, but we will. Okay, we're not gonna lose you on that one. Any other old business on your part?
Old/new.
Old/new.
One of the articles, you touched on it briefly last week on the article in the Independent about minutes and the meetings and availability.
Timeframe.
I do think one of the only things that, and I've thought a lot about this, about ways that we could in fact increase participation. I don't think it's the hour of our meeting. We've had times in the past when we moved it to the evening, and then we had to pay all our department heads overtime to be here, and they were still the only ones that were here. But one of the suggestions that did come out of it that I did think was a good idea, if a member of the public came in at 4:15, they've had to sit there for now 45 minutes while we go through our regular mundane signing of the bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when they might literally have had a 5-minute question. Some of the towns, as was pointed out in the article, do a public input at 2 different times. It might not be a bad idea, food for thought, right after the Pledge of Allegiance,
To start.
to simply say, does anybody have something that they want to address wicked quickly so that they can get out of here? Trying to take some positives out of it, it might not be a bad idea.
Sure.
Just, and we don't have to decide tonight, but to do
I don't have a
to
problem
do 2 public inputs, I did think it was a valid point. Somebody shouldn't have to sit there for 45 minutes while we sign bills and sign papers.
I do know that when Ellen has asked us to address these issues of somebody who's in a hurry, we've done it up front.
We have, and our meeting is open enough that we've allowed, and I don't see that changing, to even have public input
During the
during the meeting, and I want that to continue. But as far as the way that it is posted and what we're saying to the public about the process for them to come here, there's no way of saying that. And I'm not suggesting that we get any more regiment at all. I don't think there's anything wrong if Ash has something to offer on a particular subject that we're discussing to join in. I mean,
I think it's important anytime we're discussing
Right.
something.
I don't have an issue with that. Now, I do know some towns have had issues because,
I
let's
know
face
you
it, we all, and listen, every town has them, and we have more than our share as well of people who can be.
Do you want to change our agenda, so right after Pledge of Allegiance, we request anybody with public input that wishes to not stay for the whole meeting, get out?
That's my thought, is to do that
I don't
and
have an
then
issue
do
with that.
public input
That sounds
again
good.
again toward the end of the meeting.
Right.
Put that in a
We'll do it again
motion.
at the end.
I'll move that we change the agenda to include a second public input portion earlier in the meeting.
Directly following the Pledge of Allegiance.
That would be fine.
I'll second it.
I think we ought to put it under roll call.
After roll call, that's fine.
Should go under roll call. We make it roll call.
That's fine.
You second under roll
Yep.
call? All
Yep.
those in favor?
Fine.
Is that all right?
Give it a try.
Put it under the roll call. That way we can do Pledge of Allegiance, we do the roll call of the Board of Selectmen, and then we request anybody who has any public input that wants to add, not wanting to stay for the whole meeting, we'll accept it at that point. And then we'll accept it again under where we have it listed. We'll leave that alone.
I think it's worth a try.
Okay? Any other old business? No business? New business?
The only new, and I told you about it, so Bob knows, I will not be here next Monday. I'm gonna be out of state on business.
Where are you going?
And this Wednesday is the public budget hearing. I'm gonna be in Boston for the day. I anticipate getting back in time for the public hearing. but on the outside that I don't, I know Frank has said he's gonna be there, and I
I'll be
think
here.
you're planning
I
on
will
being
be
there as
here,
well.
yeah.
But I plan on being back, but if I don't make it back, it's because I couldn't get back in time for Boston. So, other than that.
Okay. Any other new business?
I don't,
I'll open it to public input.
Are you going to Boston tomorrow? To load those votes.
Actually, funny side story, they're delivering 8 pontoon boats to Boston tomorrow.
Yeah.
While
During the parade?
and a
While the
snowstorm,
Patriots parade is ongoing, so, yeah.
and bad weather.
If you see on the national news, a whole bunch of pontoon boats stuck in the middle of the
Oh, yeah.
Patriot parade,
I told Barry,
What's
board boats on
What's the
south
difference?
sides
Duck
on-
boat, pontoon boat, they're the same, right?
my thought was, you put a sign on the side of them, unwrap them suckers,
right.
put players on them.
Yeah,
Go for it.
go. One that says board boat show.
Any other public input? Yeah.
Just a couple things. I've dealt with flooring myself. Looking at that, it's very interesting how that goes together. A concern of mine would be because that is a half-inch thick and VCT tiles, 1/8 inch, you're going to have to go around and lift your heaters up, change all your thresholds. It's going to be a lot of work.
We'd have to anyway, because if we put this type of floor down again, we gotta put an underlayment under it.
You're going to put
We'd go an
another
underlayment over this floor,
I got you.
and then put a new floor on, so either way, we would have to do that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Any other public input? Kelly, do we need a non-public? Okay. Make a motion, we go into a non-public session, RSA 91A3:A through E for tax purposes. Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
And Frank Riley, yes. We'll return just as soon as we can.
We do it in your office?
Hopefully, he said it's short, so we shouldn't be long.
He was still rating the
Candy jar?
candy jar.
We lost one.
What'd you do with it?
I don't know what we did with him.
I think he got stuck with his
He
hand
gets
in the
stuck,
candy
he gets stuck in a
jar.
candy jar.
I'm right here, I'm right here.
All right, make a motion, we return to public.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We had a non-public on a tax issue, and we did seal the minutes. Any other discussion to come before the board here tonight?
Other than I hope people will come to the public budget hearing. That's their opportunity to ask questions.
Wednesday night?
Wednesday night, here at the town hall.
Yeah. Do we need to appoint you to something tonight? Can we appoint him to ZBA?
I don't know, I think it's something we have to talk about first.
Is he, well, are they,
Ski,
because ski is out.
right.
Yeah, but there's 2 alternates already.
You and,
And
Bill Grover.
it doesn't fall on my fire department meeting, so I'm gonna be there all the time now, so.
So the alternates can cover?
Yeah, I believe so, right now.
Okay, then we'll
If
leave.
we can't, then, then we'll take care of it.
Okay, so we won't go anywheres with that then. You are committed. If you're not there, Mr. Billings has
Yep.
authority to come after
Yep,
you.
yep, okay. Oh, yeah, right.
I will be right down here Wednesday.
We still on camera, Ed? Yes. Oh,
All right, Connie. So you can't say what you wanted to say, can you?
not really.
So as long as they have sufficient alternates, they should use their alternates.
Right now, yeah.
If they come back, if the board wants to come back because they don't have sufficient alternates, then we should appoint somebody. Okay,
The only last thing I want to add on the budget, I believe I said last week, I think I actually put the number out there, that if the warrant passes in its entirety, we were going to be about $68,000 less by taxation this year than last year. That was not taking into effect the $13,000 warrant article that we passed tonight for the union contract. So that being said, and don't hold me to the dollar amount, but if the warrant passes it intact, as it is right now, it will be approximately $50,000 less by taxation this year than it was last year.
Nice. This is
Which
4 years
will-
in a row?
This will, if everything comes together as it appears it will right now, we will lower the town's portion of the tax rate this will be the 4th year in a row.
Nice. Nice work.
any
May not
other,
be by a lot, but it will still be lower in a day and age when all of the other ones keep going up.
any others?
question. Stanley Brothers approached me last week, wanting to know whether or not it was the ZBA's sole responsibility, or is it in responsibility with the ZBA and the town to find alternates for the ZBA?
What normally happens is that the chairman of that committee,
Yeah.
if he has vacancies, he comes to us to, we usually advertise and try to get people who are interested, like in this case, and if there is a need, then, and we can find somebody, or they can find somebody, then we can appoint them.
Okay. He is trying to find people to run for the board because of vacancies.
Well, the filing period now is
There
over,
was-
so.
I realize that, you know, there was 2 vacancies prior to going into this year's election, and then we had one who was up for reelection, and then we have one who's out ill.
Mhm.
So that's 4
Yeah.
of the 7 members, and they're having a hard time filling a full board to hear cases.
Okay.
That was his issue. And
Why don't we get together another list? I know, now it's kind of late, the budget process is just about done, but I know the budget committee is light. There's two positions, and only one person filed on the budget committee. Let's get through relatively next short period of time, get a list together of those places where there are vacancies, and with Ed's help, try to get that word out again. I mean, there are jobs that are available. If there's anybody in town that is civic-minded and wants to serve their community, there are places where they can be used, almost universally, so.
Could you just pull the filing we presently have, which shows how many people have filed for what and what places are still vacant, just for our next meeting next week? We'll just take and cover it in the meeting next week. But, hey, these vacancies didn't get anyone to sign up for them, and anybody that wishes to run on a write-in, they can write on a write-in vote, ballot. We still need help.
Good.
Thank you.
5
Got
write-ins eligible.
Yeah.
Got what now, Connie? I'm
You
sorry?
have to have 5 write-ins.
Five
In other words,
write-ins.
if I wrote your name in and 4 other people did, you could accept that position. But you have to have 5 names.
Five votes, or 5 people who support you. Okay, we'll try to make sure we make that known.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it?
If not, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Instead of 7 or 5 names.